point number 2 is people boosters create emotional safety. After being a role model, that's your first task, is then to create emotional safety. And one of the best ways to create emotional safety is to listen empathically. And that is to seek to understand. And how do you seek to understand? Is you say, tell me more. Classic listening skill is to say, tell me more. That is after you sit down and indicate you're listening and really get yourself present to the other person, and tell me more. A little hint around tell me more is catch emotional tone in the words when emotions come up in the tone. Like if somebody said, it was hard for me to do, then you say, well, tell me about it being hard. So pay attention to emotional tone under the words. That's why emails can go sideways and having a telephone call is more effective. Get curious. Ask curiosity questions that pull out the best in people. So here's a little question for you that will model this. What was the best event or what went well in the last 24 hours for you? I just want you to see if you can keep it to 1 or 2 words, put it in the chat room. What was the best moment? What went well for you in the last 24 hours? And Manisha, I just want you to report like 4 or 5 of them. What went well in the last 24 hours?
Exercising, great sleep, conversation, really good conversation with friends.
Okay.
Great deep chat with my partner. Read a good book, a conversation with my girlfriend, my friends, reading great books.
Okay, thank you for that. Now I want you to think about what you just thought about or wrote in the chat room. Thank you for participating. We appreciate that. And now I want you to consider this question. How did you contribute? What did you say or do to make that event happen for you? This is about taking responsibility. And how's this about being a people booster? We can hold people responsible for the successes in their life by deepening their decision-making. Thank you, Manisha, for putting that in the chat room. Yeah, what did you do, say, or do that contributed? And put that in the chat room. Try to keep it brief again, 2 or 3 words.
Asked questions, I listened, gave myself the time to read without distraction. Started the text. The book was a recommendation from a friend.
Okay. Wonderful. And thank you for that. So we can increase acknowledging how we are making micro decisions all the time that lead to success, whatever that looks like, whether that's self-care or getting productive, getting things done for students, getting prepared for, if they, for example, if one of the best things a student reports is that they got a really good mark on a subject, then you can deepen that by what did they do to help make that happen? How do you filter criticism? Well, there's a book that's a classic. I took a workshop with years ago. I took a workshop with Dr. Sidney Simon. He's got a place in my heart. And he wrote many, many books, including negative criticism and what you can do about it. So he really clued in that unnecessary criticism can demean people. We do need to give them feedback, and there's formulas for feedback. And the formula that's on your handout was developed by him. What went well? What would you do differently? And what help do you need from me? And then when you offer the help on the third step, that's where you can make suggestions for improvement. I love the word consider. I mentor some professional speakers, and they'll send me their scripts, or we'll have a discussion about what they were doing. And often my feedback is consider, to encourage them to give thought to a behavior, because it might not be a good fit for them. It might cause more problems than not, as they know their competency level sometimes better than I do. But yes, feedback can be helpful, but it can be done in a way that is more constructive and have people feeling, the emotional safety so that they can go forward with new behaviors. Now, I want you to think about somebody that you would like to criticize. I know this sounds kind of odd, but I want you to put in your mind a behavior of somebody that you would like to criticize. Have you got it? Just wave at me or something. Yeah? Can I see some waves? Helen? Okay, great. Thank you. I want you to sit back. I want you to sit back in your chair, please, and close your eyes. And I'm going to ask you some questions to consider before you would criticize this person. Is this person in any shape to hear it? For example, is somebody just died recently, or did they just lose a job? That's number one. Number two, can she or he do anything about either their decision or their behavior? Number three, has she or he heard it before? Meaning, is it like news for them to hear? Number four, am I committed enough to hang in until the changed behavior happens? Am I willing to support it and encourage small increments? Big change doesn't happen fast. Am I committed to this change happening? I'm requesting it. Number five, am I positive none of my own hangups are involved with this criticism that I have in my head? And number six, is it possible that she or he needs encouragement more than correcting? Self-deprecating humor can actually create emotional safety. So I've tried to get in the practice of acknowledging my own mistakes. I hope you saw that. I did, and they were done authentically, my mistakes on this slide and the learning guide. I didn't set that all up. But, oh boy, oh, whoops, I made a mistake. Gentle, deprecating humor. Now I have a caveat, a little red flag for women. It was a research project done where the participants were encouraged to use self-deprecating humor. When women use self-deprecating humor, they started to be scored as incompetent, that they make too many mistakes. Where when the males made the same number of mistakes and the same mistakes, guess what? They were just seen as being human. So we want to use this tool as self-deprecating humor. Oh, I made another mistake. Isn't that mistakes are great for learning, which is the next point of reframing mistakes into learning. So what did you learn as soon as somebody is found to have made a mistake or off track with where we want them to go, whether that's with children or whether it's with adults? And so we have a discussion about the mistakes, whether it's having to go and apologize, whatever is required, and then deepening it by saying, what did you learn?